Hi everyone, I'm Brian Day, CEO of Fuze, and I'm excited to kick off my next Ask a Fuzer interview with Manager of EMEA Solutions Consulting, Nuno Sarabando. Nuno is based out of Aveiro, Portugal, and I'm excited to chat today, Nuno.
Indeed, Brian. It's really a big pleasure to be here with you today.
All right, great. So can you introduce yourself and explain what your role is here at Fuze?
Sure thing. Thanks for that. I want to thank for this great initiative. Before of that, I'm really excited to share with you and the audience what my role is and what is the responsibility of my team here at Fuze. So basically, I am Nuno Sarabando. Prior to Fuze, I was a consultant for about 12 years on the telecom industry, focused on the radio and backhaul access for the telecom mobile and fixed network providers. My customers back in that time were based in some kind of exotic countries, such as in Asia Pacific and Africa regions. Then I joined Fuze as a solution consultant under the professional services team. And I had several opportunities to work and pilot some team strategies during my first year as a lead on the UC desk team, which is now known as the provisioning team, and also giving some hands-on to the support team as they were having some lack of resources back in that time. After a few months, I've returned back as 100% as an SC, a solution consultant. And since then, I've grown additional technical and soft skills, which resulted on kind of the natural promotion to later on as a senior solution consultant, and most recently to the manager of this SC team, solution consulting team over here in Europe, in EMEA. You can ask, what is a solution consultant here at Fuze? So basically the role of an SC, which stands for solution consultant, is a technical lead of the professional services team, which acts as the main tech advocate and advisor, partnering with our customers and as well with our internal teams during the project implementation lifecycle. We offer to our customers the best experience from the discovery, design, implementation, and user adoption of the solution to implement, and ensure that we are delivering the solutions with a high quality and efficiently at the same time. So this means that both customers and our support teams will be more happy at the end and will be more prepared during their go live and when starting using the services. With that, we also reduce the support requests after the transitioning of the customer to that support team, and during this implementation cycle of before moving to the support channel.
Hey, Nuno,
as a manager,
sorry, let me interrupt for one second. How has your job and the role that your department plays within the organization changed since the pandemic started? Because I'm guessing that since there's really, up until recently, hasn't been any travel, it really impacted your team.
Sure, absolutely. So basically, before the pandemic, we have like several customer travels to help with the customer during the go live. Of course, during the pandemic, all of those actions and interactions has been changed because we were not allowed to be that so close with the customers and with our other teams as well. A lot of stuff that have changed. And at the same time, with the pandemic, and as a business for Fuze, we were allowed to have more customers on the initial step because everyone was requiring a tool to communicate, whether internally or externally with their final customer clients or with their own providers, with camera on or off, whatever. So we needed to kind of handle a lot of deployments in a kind of fast and furious mode. So we were able, at the end, we were able to perform that action remotely. But anyway, we at Fuze, we were already used to work remotely. So with the tool that we have and with the culture that we already have, it was not that hard to have this kind of change or update on our day-to-day basis. There were other challenges, of course,
right,
that we can speak later on.
Yeah, but you and your team sound like you were well prepared for it.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So in December, you'll have been here for 6 years. That's a long time, and I certainly appreciate that. And it sounds like you've had worn a number of different hats here, so to speak, and you've had some nice career progression. How have you seen the UCaaS industry evolve over those 6 years?
Yeah, actually, well, time flies, doesn't it?
It
6 years, it's incredible. How much I did grow up, how much this company did grow up and evolve it since then. I remember 6 years ago when I joined the company name was Thinking Phones. Can you imagine how it was a big question mark for me back in that time? Why Thinking Phones? This name is kind of outdated for today's market technology. But at the end, back in that time, the project challenge that I was facing was what made me deciding to be part of it. We were starting the professional services team in EMEA region from scratch in a company that was starting as well to sell in Europe with a futurism telephony system without any physical PBX equipment or on customer premises. So this was my main guideline to move to this new challenge. I was really interested about this kind of business simplicity and at the same time this opportunity. Just for you to have an idea, basically, when I started, we had that tool called Thinking Communicator that allows us to chat and calling with a telephone number from any country. Wherever I was based, today I could be at home, tomorrow I could be working in the office, and the next week I could be in Australia for a customer trip. So it was really funny. After a couple of months, actually, we did acquire a great company, which was called Fuze, already back in that time, and we made the rebrand to Fuze afterwards. So that company that we did acquire had the solution for the meetings components, and after that, basically, we've merged a kind of and created a unified and simpler tool and solution for the end users, which has the truly unified experience with the chatting, with the voice calling, and with the Fuze meetings experience, all in the same kind of almost room, right?
Yeah, that's funny. When I think of Thinking Communicator, I think of Morse code. It feels like even the name itself sounds old, doesn't it?
It does indeed.
So speaking of the Fuze platform, what is your favorite platform feature?
Actually, I would say that in my perspective, there were two main features that we could have that I really like. One is more like in the historic period, which was really the rebranding of the company with the new colors and with this new tool, unified tool, which was like the first main step that I really loved that period. And most recently, in terms of feature capabilities, is really our ability and solution for the CCaaS market with our agent and supervisor console ability in the same Fuze desktop or Fuze mobile application. This is definitely the feature that I love the most, and the way that we are involving our product on a periodic way, adding additional and more features into this ecosystem is really great. So what fascinates me the most at the moment is really the CCaaS features around the product.
Interesting. That's great, and that's an area we've been investing pretty heavily in. So I'm glad you enjoy that. Hey, let's shift gears a little bit. Back in August we had a Fuze Day, kind of a holiday for Fuze employees, and you shared a great photo of you and your little one enjoying time at the beach after a bike ride. How has it been for you balancing work from home and parenting and working through all those issues?
Yeah, actually, that was a great day, myself and my little one, and she will never forget because it was like the first time that she went into the beach, which is like 12 kilometers far away from here, by bike. We stayed over there for like in the afternoon, and then after we come back, it was a really great day. But coming to your question, basically it was not an easy period, honestly, in the beginning, because like the first lockdown, the first 3 months, it was really hard because I wanted to keep my day-to-day business commitments up to date. And at the same time, the kids, they were at home and they were also having their own commitments for the school, like the school commitments, or at the same time, if they were not having the school activities, they were demanding a lot of effort from myself. In that first lockdown, actually, my wife was still working in the office. She needed to go to the office, so she was not working at home because the company was not prepared for working remotely. So basically, I was almost I was alone at home with 2 kids, demanding a lot of effort from my side to support them and to help them on their daily basis. So I needed to adapt myself. I needed to make my own shifts between the house affairs, between the school, and between Fuze as a work to keep my cleanup every day up to date, right?
That sounds like a really tough balancing act.
Yeah, it is.
Wow. Let me ask you a question. If you had to sum up the culture here at Fuze in 3 words, what words would you choose?
Actually, I think that collaboration, definitely, whatever internally and externally, with customers as well. Happiness, and again, internally and externally. I think that we reflect our happiness on our day-to-day routines and conversations with our customers as well. And lastly, commitment. We have such a high level of professionalism and quality on our commitments, which I'm really proud of.
Just circling back quickly to your balancing act, balancing, raising the child, working from home, managing the house with your wife having to go into the office and things like that. How has it been working with your coworkers at Fuze? Have they been supportive of that? Have you guys, what kind of techniques do you guys follow to stay in touch with each other and have some fun together?
Definitely, it was a kind of, everyone was already used to work remotely anyway. But what was the main challenge was working remotely, but at the same time being locked down at home because no one could go outside, whatever the country, because suddenly all the countries were in lockdown. This week started in Italy, the next week it would start in Spain, and 3 weeks then after it was UK, France, including Portugal and so on, and suddenly everyone in the world was in lockdown. So kind of how the team would be, not surviving, but how the team would be trying to give their best and at the same time keeping their own well-being. We as a team, we were trying to not burn out, taking care of each other at the same time, collaborate with each other, making sure that if someone was having an additional effort with some of the customers, we were trying to cover for each other as well to give some support and some hands-on, and at the same time making sure that the guys had the time to perform their own personal stuff for their own interests, making sure that they were not working that hard, and keeping in touch in a way to try to find some funny moments, like on Friday afternoon to go and grab your own beer and let's relax for a bit before you go for your weekend. So we tried to have some of those moments, and of course at the same time we were not trying to push that much because we knew that at the same time they were already needing their own time for their own personal stuff. And at the same time, this team is very responsible. So each one really well manages their own schedule, their own commitments. So I didn't need to be like in front of them, asking them every day in or every hour if the steps are ongoing, are doing well or not. But yeah, it was not an easy period for no one.
Yeah, I understand. Hey, so one last question for you, Nuno, then I'll let you go. For those of us that haven't been able to visit Portugal, tell us a bit about what you enjoy most about being able to work from anywhere in such a beautiful country.
Yeah, every time I met a new customer or a new colleague which is not based in Portugal, I tend to refer something as Fuze as the best collaborative tool and solution that allows you to work from anywhere. And if you have an opportunity to come to Portugal and visit our premises in Aveiro or Porto, feel free to visit us, whether on a personal or a professional level. And if you want to stay for work for a few days or a couple of weeks, please feel free. You are our guest, right? In Portugal in general, but with a focus on my own city, Aveiro, and also in Porto, we have such a great food and variety of food, like from meat, seafood, fish, and also vegan options. And at the same time, we have such a great weather conditions, like 80 to 90% of the year we have sun. So even including in the winter, and several options for more or less radical sports and mental activities like surfing, walking, biking, trekking. We have great views, close to the sea, more in the highlands. So please feel free, visit us. I'm pretty sure you will not regret, and you know that, Brian, right?
Well, you may recall, Nuno, that I chose to come on one of those days when the weather wasn't so great. So
yeah,
hopefully next time I visit, I will have a nice weather. I'm looking forward to getting over there soon. It's one of my favorite Fuze offices to visit. So Nuno, thank you for joining me today. It was great speaking with you.
You too, Brian. Thanks so much for this. Take care.
Okay.